like such a wreck, people. Okay. Just got back extremely late last night and got woken up by my dog when I needed more sleep. So here I am. And today's video is a review for Tears of the Kingdom, which 6 days later I finished. And I'm just going to tell you right now, at the end of this video, doesn't matter that I'm going to bring up 2 good things that kept me going through this game. Because I hated my experience, and because my experience sucked, I'm going to piss off every Zelda fanboy very easily. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing that can be changed about that. They're so blind and so deeply deep-throating Nintendo that honestly, I could say next to nothing. I could say the tiniest negative and it would have pissed them off anyways. So here we go. Honestly, Tears of the Kingdom has been a terrible experience from the get-go. Mostly because it is a overpriced expansion that honestly I struggled and struggled to tolerate. Now I will admit, despite my experience being so terrible, there were at least 2 things that kept me going throughout this whole nightmare that never ended. But I'll get into those last. Mostly because those things did such heavy lifting, I want to spend more of the video about those things, since like I said, they saved the whole damn thing. And I'm going to start with the negatives. First of all, you know how in the last game it wasn't fully voice acted truly? How it had tons and tons of segments where even though these characters should have been voice acted, you read them instead? Well, imagine that times a million now. They actually managed to take the same problem of lacking supporting cast, and they made that worse here. You heard me. They cut, copy, and pasted from Breath of the Wild so hard they took the problems with it. I can't believe I'm going to say this, because I didn't think it was possible for someone to screw up that badly, but congrats. You managed to take a game where cut, copy, and pasting would have been a good idea, and you fucked it up royally. Good job if that was your aim, to screw up. You did great. 10 out of 10. Marvelous, then, if your goal was to screw up. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give you guys some professionalism advice here. Alright? You want to improve your experience from mine? Don't have any need to do videos on stuffs anytime soon. Not by any weeks. No. You can make this game a better experience if you are literally playing it in the way that some people play No Man's Sky. Stuff like that, where you are not playing it at all by story bit, where you are just doing little things here and there, spread out over months to years. That's kind of a problem. If you're trying to play the game, though, it can be a pain in the ass, because some of its logic is easily fuckable. Very, very easy. Now, whether this is a good or bad thing, I feel like it's a bad thing in certain areas and a good thing in others. In shrines, where I could basically say, yeah, I see your puzzle, I'm done with your bullshit, I'm just going to skip ahead by doing some other shiz. You can do that, and I love that. I don't like having some things, though, turned on me when it makes no damn sense, in a way. Now, they have an explanation for it, but it's a bullshit explanation that doesn't work. In fact, it is as believable as no Quidditch in Hogwarts Legacy because a player got injured. It's that level of unbelievable. So basically, the reason for all metal weapons sucking and why no new metal weapons can be made is this corruption bullshit. Yeah. What's the nice way to say when I don't believe you for one hot femtosecond smothered in grease, bitch. I don't. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I think I'd sooner believe in Santa Claus. Thank you. Like, who thinks this is believable? Who? Who? It's moronic and dumb. Just pure dumb. Okay? Now, on to some other things. I'm gonna be comparing this a lot to Breath of the Wild because it is Breath of the Wild, but worse. In every respect, in every way, throughout my literally 6 days of constant playing, this game is Breath of the Wild expansion, but done shitty. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else here. All right. You're going to be going to areas you've already been to. You're going to be buying gear you've already bought. You're going to be hunting down weapons, making weapons, so on and so on. Stuff you've already done. There's not. If honestly, I'm going to just drop this right now. When it comes down to it, the only persons who've actually shown up to do their jobs at all are two groups. Everybody else was so retarded, so lazy, so brain dead, so stupid that they cut, copy, and pasted all of Breath of the Wild and just shoved it in. I honestly, outside of two new terrains, I got nothing. I can't. There's not much here that's new, that's different, that's improved, that's advanced, that's tweaked, that's altered. Alright? It's mind numbing how this game is literally just the same game, but with more grind and more grind forced onto you. It drove me bloody insane. Okay. Let me just tell you right now. These two new terrains. One of them is meh. The other is an ungodly sack of shit, annoying as all hell, hellhole, that someone should have been fired the moment they were doing it. The depths are annoying, tedious, stupid, dumb, and all they do is act as further method for you to grind more. Okay. I'm not even able to go into the topic of Link's powers fully yet. I do have to lightly talk about it a little bit so I can get into its biggest problem, of which it is more grind. No, really. You see, in this game, on top of now having to grind freaking shrines to death, you have to. You have no choice. If you do not grind the shrines, you do not get to finish the game. Period. Like I said, you have to have, before doing any temples, before even progressing it a little bit, you have to have 2 full stamina wheels. Because you're just going to get stopped and made to grind again after that. So I guess what you should probably do, have the 2 wheels already ready. And mind you, that's not so you can have extra stamina left over. That's just so you can meet the minimum requirement in order to actually get past this roadblock that they shoved in so you can grind more. They also have Korok seeds. Now I'm glad to say, thanks to one of Link's powers, I didn't have to worry about that much. I was able to circumvent that. I was able to get out some these nice amounts of damage. I was able to keep myself relatively well stocked up weapon-wise. I will state this, though. I don't want to get no Korok seeds. I just can't be bothered. I eventually finally managed to find Hastu's freaking annoying ass. Granted, the only way to find him is to basically progress the game really, really, really freaking far, or go to an area prematurely and probably get your ass beat, battered, blackened, blued, and destroyed. Yeah. Only way I can see of getting around it is if you have lots of bomb fruit and lots of puff shrooms. Otherwise, eh, no. Yeah, I had 6 of them when I went to that bit, and I wish I had a lot more. Um, there's another grindy thing they added in, but thankfully this one's not forced. The Korok one isn't forced either, thankfully, but it is annoying to be like, okay, I'd like to increase my stuff now, Hestu, where is your dumbass? But they've also added this thing called pose, which are related to the depths, which you can trade in for some gear and items. Yeah. I just didn't like them. Anything to do with the depths just to me was annoying, tedious, and frustrating, and honestly, more often than not, hurt the game bad. Now, there are probably ways you can make it easier on yourself. There's probably some method that I did not know of. Probably. But I decided to go with the spamming of bloom seeds over and over again. To the point of where I burned, I think, 150 giant bloom seeds and I think like 250 small ones. And still didn't even have a half or no, not even a quarter of the area finished. Now there is ways you can mitigate the freaking depths bullshit, which is finding these giant amber tower vine things. Find those. I know they have a technical name, but honestly, I'm trying my best to delete as much of this game from my head as we go through this review. But yeah, basically light those things up. It'll give you a chunk of the area. Now, the thing is that these things are a pain in the ass to see because, for the most part, they're surrounded by pitch black. Yeah. Trying to get through this area was honestly just frustrating. Trying to do as much as I could in this area was frustrating, and finding out that all it really amounted to was energy crystal things that I could use to increase my freaking Zonai battery capacity. Well, the thing is, though, is that leads us into another grind. No, really. Just to get one. Just to get one chunk out of 3 in a whole battery. There's 3 chunks. Well, to get one of them, that's 100 crystals. 100. So if you want to fill up one battery, that's 300 crystals. So if I wanted to say max that shiz out, we're talking well into probably the 4 or even 5,000 of these bastards. All right, we're talking a ton. And I can't be bothered. Look, I love the powers, and I would love to, make some crazy constructions or do what I've seen some people do, where they make a freaking Gundam. But fuck that. Do you know how many weeks that would be of just constant grinding, progressing nothing? No, thank you. All right. Even more so since I was trying to get a review out for this within a reasonable time frame. I'm having to make some cuts and sacrifices in overall stuff here, and I'm having to use the same method I used for Breath of the Wild. But the problem is, though, is that this game is so forcing you to grind so often that honestly, even that didn't work. And it still took longer than it should have. Now, we got that. There are some other grindy things, but thankfully they are not forced at all. There's these bobble gem things that you get from killing what looks like glowing rodents on ceilings. A rodent, I mean lizard things. I mean, what I wouldn't know what to call these stupid things. I just call them shinies. So basically, they have that, and they have this other thing that I honestly don't even remember the name of that thing anymore. And to be honest with you, I just don't care. I don't. Especially by the time I finally found one of these things, I was just like, I was already pretty broken down, anyways, and just tired of it all. All right, we got those over with. We got the grinds over with. We got the part about how the overall voice acting is not improved, and in fact is actually made worse. Time for the last tiny bit here. Let's talk. Sorry, the exhaust and the memories are hitting. Plus, still tired from being woken up by the jackass dog. When it comes down to it, honestly and genuinely, if it weren't for these two parts of this game, I wouldn't have finished it. I probably would have sent it back within 3 days, 2 days maybe at best. It would have long been gone already. Links. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to bring this up. I was thinking about cutting this for time's sake, but you know what? We're only at 17. Screw it. I'm going to add this in because of how much this pissed me off and annoyed me too. When activating allies' powers, I should never have to get inside of them, then press A, then either aim their power or wait for their power to charge, do the appropriate action involved, do a cooldown, then get inside them. The problem here is that in order to get inside them, I'm having to chase their dumb ass around the field. Literally, in the final fight, what I'm doing, I'm chasing Riju's bitch ass across the entire battlefield. I'm doing lap after lap after lap after lap, lapping over and over and over and over again. I'm not shitting you. I did so many Olympic freaking style laps. I should have been in the damn Olympics at that rate. It was ridiculous. In fact, that's honestly the first thing I probably should have said actually instead. Screw it. I'm going to say it here now anyways though. Their powers are such crap. And they're frustrating. And I repeat, I have to chase their asses to use any of them. I want to freaking pop off Riju's freaking lightning arrow of death? Well, I better chase her ass down. And I better do it sharpish, because even when I do finally get inside of her to click A, I still have to wait for her to charge the ability. Fuck. Guess what this does when you're needing, especially since Riju is probably one of, I'm going to say probably the few characters with like, I can take out a huge numbers and do it well. Here's the thing. None of that really fucking matters when I have to chase your ass down for an hour, get inside you, then pop the ability, then wait. By then, the numbers that were so nicely compacted into a place where we can wipe out many at once is gone. That opportunity is gone. That chance is gone. That ability now doesn't even matter. It's not even needed now. And that's the problem. Trying to pop these abilities should never be a matter of battering your head in. Trying to utilize these allies' abilities should never be a pain in the ass and so heavily time consuming. I should never have to literally run dozens of laps around the entire freaking battlefield so I can pop an ability off. Honestly, you know what I wished? I kind of wished the entire time that some person who had a brain cell at Nintendo would have said, hey, let's make it so that these guys aren't. We did that thing for the temple bit, but now that they're no longer at the temple bits, let's just make it so these abilities get used by themselves and have little settings that players could tamper with. I would have loved that. Actually, I would have preferred that. Hell, if you wanted to be lazy, you can try and do a thing like Dragon's Dogma did, where you sit characters down and you chew them out saying, hey, Riju, next time you see multitudes, shoot your freaking lightning, dumbass. Hey, Unobo, next time you see a big rock thing, go barrel into it. Tell him, if you see me in the air, put out some wind, fool. Sidone, if you see me about to get hit, do what your sister did. Use your ship appropriately. Thank you. It'd be nice if there was some way to either make it so that the players don't have to micromanage these dumbasses who are all way the fuck away and keeping huge distances. It's annoying. I should never have to chase a character down on top of having to be inside of their bodies in order to use their abilities. I shouldn't need to. That's stupid. That's dumb. But it's literally what had to happen billions of fucking times. Every single time I ever needed or was going to use their abilities, I borderline had to be inside of them. The only partial exception is Tullen, because at least his power is primarily useful for when I'm traveling about in the air. And therefore, I didn't have to worry about getting inside him, thankfully. But it was still annoying to have to get inside everyone just so I can activate their abilities. And mind you, that's not isolated to outside of Temple. That's also in Temple I had to do that. I had to get inside of everybody. Want to use Yunoba's freaking fireball? I have to get inside him. I want to use Riju's lightning. I have to get inside her. I want to use Sidone's freaking water shield and water slash move. I have to get inside of him. It's maddening and just is stupid and dumb and moronic and unenjoyable. It's stupid in every sense of the word. It honestly sounds like a system that was literally designed by a brain-dead intern who had no idea what they were doing. That's honestly how bad this execution is, how tedious the whole thing is. That's how bad the AI for these morons is, too. When they finally attack, it's been an hour. You've probably done more than half the work by yourself when they finally chip in. It's just insufferable. That's the perfect word for it, dealing with these characters. It's insufferable. But the problem here is that I can't even joke or jest about saying, well, they might not be doing much in combat or supporting me in combat, but hey, they're adding at least to the supporting cast. No, they're not. Not at all. They don't speak. The only ones they speak is the real versions. All right, the ones that have been helping you outside of the temple, Mazel Tov, congrats for you. They're not saying shit. They're absolutely dead silent, and they don't add at all. Honestly, there's no excuse for this. There isn't. There's no excuse for having to chase them down, having to be inside of them, them barely attacking, their abilities. Some of them take, for Christ's sake, Riju's ability should be probably the most useful thing because it's great for taking out swarms. The problem here is because I have to chase her, because I have to get inside of her, then I have to wait for her ability to charge up before I can actually utilize it. By then, they're no longer as bunched up. The opportunity where she could do really great and help a ton is gone. And I've just wasted my time chasing her and trying to get inside of her just so I can use her stupid ability. That, mind you, like I said, takes fucking forever to charge up. It sucks. Honestly, her ability is so fucking useless that it demands patching. But this is Nintendo. There's not going to be a patch. There's not going to be a fix. This is how the game dies. Period. This is how the game will always be. I don't see them patching this. I don't see them fixing any of this. And honestly, there are some things in this game that you can't fix through just a patch alone. In order to fix it, you would have had to have had the brains, the common sense, to have scrapped it when it was on the design table. But they didn't. They left it as is. And the game suffers for it. Sorry. I had to get that over with, even though that added literally 10 whole minutes onto it. Alright. Time to talk powers. Link's powers specifically, thankfully. Link's powers are badass. These are one of the two things that honestly saved the game for me. Just having the power to basically say, fuck sanity, screw reason, who needs that? Instead, let's just have fun. Honestly, Link's powers were fun to use, fun to tamper with. And I had more fun tampering with his powers for no reason. Not because I was trying to get to some temple, not because of some tower, not because of some this, not because of that. No, just mindless, empty, I don't give an F about progress. Let's just do some clowning around. Those were the best moments of the entire game combined. And especially compared to the weak-ass ending. Yes, I said it, weak-ass ending. Yes, I just watched the secret ending too, and I still think it's weak as shit for all it's put you through. For all the grind it forced, for all the tedium, for all of the cut, copy, and paste for the $70 for a crappy expansion. Yes, I do still think both endings kind of suck and are kind of lame. Alright? Especially since, like I said, this game forced you to do even more grind than Breath of the Wild. Was even less fun than Breath of the Wild. Okay? Yes, has the same grind required for the stupid secret ending. Actually, I think it might even have more grind for that secret ending, if I'm understanding things right. Either way, though, no, those two endings of less than 6 minutes with barely any lines to them, no. No, thank you. You absolute insult. It just sucks to say this, but I had billions of better time, better experience when I just said, fuck all this game, let me just dick around for a while. Me not making any progress, me not making any money, me not finding new armor, me not finding finding weapons or any of that shit. No. Me just saying, you know what, let's use some materials and some constructions and see just how badly I can ruin the day of this Bogoblin horde. Let's just see what happens. Honestly, that was the only moments of pure raw fun I was having at all, is when I just decided, I'm going to go ruin that horde's day. I'm going to go ruin that group's day. What happens if I do that? And that's the only moments where I had like sincere fun, is when I just decided to stop playing, really, and just started messing the days up for monsters left and right. That was it. That was my fun moments, and nothing else. Which is sad, because in Breath of the Wild, I had a ton of fun moments. Tons of fun moments. I don't have those here. Yeah, it's just not. Anyone who says 10 out of 10, I think you are an absolute blind fanboy and need some help. Now, with that being said, those who say 8s, I feel like you are being a little too kind, in my opinion, but that's a completely acceptable score. 8 is completely acceptable. A little too kind, but acceptable. And everything froze. The fact. I'll repeat that again just because my shit froze for some weird reason. All in all, 10, you're a blind fanboy and honestly need help. Now, if you said 8, I think you're being a little too kind, but we can. That's still a believable score. Okay. Now, personally, though, I can very easily see someone saying a 5 very easily because of how much of it is the same game, how much of it is the same game but worse. I can't blame anyone who says a 5. I can't. Thankfully, because of me doing those moments of dicking around and because the music team went hard as all hell, uh, honestly, thanks to those two, I can at least say a 6 out of 10. Which is sad because that's a 2-point drop for me from where Breath of the Wild was. Like, I was going back and forth with Breath of the Wild from 8 to 9, 8 to 9, over and over again. Even still, I can't decide which sucks. But Tears of the Kingdom is very easily a inferior game to Breath of the Wild in multitudes of aspects, in so many ways. Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, I'm as thankful as oh fuck my dad saved my ass because I was this close to buying the game outright, spending that $70. But my pops, he reminded me, you have GameFly, just cover yourself. And I listened. Thank God I listened. Because honestly, this thing's pathetic as hell. This is a literal copy and paste job. This is Breath of the Wild, the shittier expanded edition. And that's it. There's nothing else here to say. Other than this game is tedious, grindy, not fun, and was insufferable the entire way. Which is sad. Because I'm going to tell you right now, stupid fanboys are going to probably lie to you and say that I just hate Zelda. I hate Zelda. Wrong. False. God, they're lying out their ass. Anyone who actually knows me or talks to me or asks me my opinions about Zelda knows this already. I actually have played 3 Zelda games in my time. The original, Twilight Princess, and one that I can't remember that was kind of boring. That I can't remember it to save my life. Honestly, though, I want to love Zelda more than I do. I want to be made into a fanboy. I am not. And sadly, this game is not the one that's going to make me one. They came close with Breath of the Wild. They had it there. They just had to fix things. Not copy and paste everything. They had to fix things, then copy and paste. And they didn't. They just took all the problems with them and made them worse. I mean, to such an extent that some of the characters who in the last game were voice acted were suddenly no longer voice acted in this one. Talk about how there's new voice actors as much as you want. They're barely there. So I can't really give any points for that. I can't really say the lie that some people are going to be spewing, which is that this game's fully voice acted. It isn't. It's not even half voice acted. Okay, it isn't. At best, it's a quarter voice acted, which is shockingly surprising. Like, there's barely any voice acting at all. Sometimes there's as much as 4 lines at best. I don't know, they were strapped for cash. I don't know. Honestly, it completely sucks, and I don't like saying it, but I'm going to say it anyways. I don't like Tears of the Kingdom even half as much as I liked Breath of the Wild. And I had a fifth the fun I had in Breath of the Wild. And honestly, in Breath of the Wild, I had enough fun to the point of where I was willing to go back and play it again to get the secret ending. I couldn't be bothered to do that here. I couldn't. I can't. It's just not worth it. And now that the dog's back to barking, we'll also call out the end of the video. For those of you who stuck around, I hope you laughed at me, laughed with me. I hope you guys managed to get some humor and comedy either out of the room or my mug or my weird attempts at sanity. Or, made fun of me. It's not hard. I supply it in great quantity. I will see you all tomorrow, basically, I think. Tomorrow, ouch, for another video. Then back to the normal one video a week setup. See ya.